Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the Meltdown podcast. I am your host, Alfredo Machargo. I'm here with my co-hosts, Local and Ricardo. And welcome to our second episode. Well, today we got a couple of stuff to talk about. We have a lot of news on the coronavirus again. We also have a leak that went on Kendrick Lamar's song.
His new album.
Yeah, and we also have Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, contacted with COVID-19. So yeah, let's get right into it. So I just want to start by saying how badly has President Trump administered this situation of the coronavirus, in my opinion, because him knowing about how the cases are going to keep increasing, and U.S. now being the number one country with the biggest coronavirus cases, him knowing how bad the things have been in the U.S., he's still not doing a complete lockdown in the U.S. And I completely understand where he's coming from, because once again, he doesn't want the economy to be shut down completely, but it's still kind of bad because there's high unemployment rates as of now, and the economy will still keep being affected, and it will keep lowering down, and it'll just make it worse, because what we could do is complete shutdown. Sure, the economy is going to go down, but as soon as this crisis is over, the economy will boom again immediately.
No, well, I mean, no, it's not. That's not how it works. But I mean, what it'll probably do is after it's over, it'll probably just start rebounding again. I mean, the crash wasn't like fully based on the coronavirus. It was also a bunch of debt growing up. There was also a bunch of corporate debt that wasn't being addressed by the government. So it really was a long time coming. The coronavirus just sparked it. But when eventually it starts dying off and there's less and less cases, fewer, and people will start going back to work, it'll probably just start and get going again, and people will start getting their jobs back, but only if the government takes some good steps to remake the economy. Because if everyone that was stayed home for 30, 60, maybe even 70, 80 days, then they probably weren't being the most productive that they could be, and their employers maybe even fired them because of it, or maybe they just ducked their wages, or anything. It basically hurt their living standards. So when they're able to actually just go outside and function normally in society again, they'll probably find a hustle or something. Maybe they'll even start their own businesses or just find another job. It'll just be a big transition. It's not necessarily a crash or anything.
No, yeah, I definitely know what you mean, bro. I meant in the case of how he keeps the economy still running. He hasn't done a complete shutdown in the U.S. I'm not talking about the crash. I'm just talking about how he hasn't really administered it really well, in my opinion. He could have just completely shut down all sectors, which will affect it. But once again, like you said, it'll just rebound eventually when this crisis is over.
Yeah, because it's never gonna just stay down unless the coronavirus spikes to a huge number, millions. Then there's that possible scenario where it could actually crash, and that there need to be another, and maybe an injection from the World Bank or from the IMF or something. But if everyone keeps doing social distancing and keeps self-quarantining and just trying to be safe, it'll probably eventually blow over.
Yeah, definitely. Also, we talking about that. I heard Boris got positive on the coronavirus, the British Prime Minister. That's
Johnson.
Crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the British Prime. I really don't know how. I don't know a lot about how the British Prime Minister goes around. It's of course Trump has his campaign rallies, and he has the secret service to keep him safe and kind of isolated from the general public. I don't know how that is for prime ministers, but I I'd say that it probably came from like uh within his circle, within his administration, because I really don't think that he goes out on the bound just like shaking people's hands and just being in the streets like a normal person, or even
Definitely.
campaign rallies, because he doesn't have to do campaign rallies around this time.
Yeah, I mean, it has to come from his administration. Actually, didn't something? And if that's the case, I mean, I heard earlier that I think uh the minister of press in Brazil was positive of coronavirus, and and Trump was met up with him like a few days before he got positive, which could eventually like I doubt it because if not, the symptoms would have started appearing already, but it could have been potentially threatening to Trump, but honestly,
Well, no, but he already he already like published
self
a
test.
yeah,
Yeah,
he already
yeah,
got
yeah.
tested.
I saw it, but yeah, same with Pence. But
Boris Johnson's in like it says some news sources are saying that he's really angry with China, and I gotta say that I somewhat agree with him, because I mean it's it's fine that you sometimes want to maybe it's a different culture, it's a different like style of meal, style of eating habits and everything, but at the same time, like, it's really dangerous. It'd be like if in America people start eating like, I don't know, live horses or something like that, that is gonna be hurtful, or damage. It could probably be uh, negative for your health, but you still eat it. And I think that basically what the Chinese government should do is just regulate that. Say, well, sure, you can do what you want, but at the same time, if you can't keep on eating these dangerous animals, when it's a threat not only to our national like prosperity, but to the whole world.
yeah, definitely. But if you look at it once again, there's like various problems. Sure, they should make regulations, but I wouldn't say like eating bats and stuff like that necessarily is their culture because if you realize it, if you go to like an expensive restaurant, you're not really gonna get a bat from what I'm seeing. This is just from like the cheap meat markets you see in like the streets and stuff. So it's basically a problem with around. I wouldn't say poverty, but like the expenses and stuff. But yeah, definitely they should look for the regulation on that.
Yeah, because if not, this will just like repeat itself. The other day, I think it was yesterday, that it was reported. CNN reported that China has like it allowed once again for the markets to open, the markets from which the coronavirus came. Those illegal. No, they're not illegal. Those endangered species food markets. They're open once again. So basically, they've learned nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they have to look for further regulation. I definitely agree with you. Super, uh, it's super negligent from China seeing this, and I don't know how true this is, but I heard another virus also emerged. It's not as contagious as COVID, but it has a higher mortality rate from what I saw.
Oh no, that's the one that comes from rat feces. No, that one's older. It's just like it just got some new spikes, but it's old and it doesn't get transmitted from person to person. It's only rat feces. So that one, yeah, people. I saw it on Twitter too, but those are just stupid idiots on Twitter. Trying to cause panic again.
Oh, yeah, regional Twitter's always a mess.
Yeah.
Uh, Talking about that, I this week, like I just mentioned, U.S. got in the list for the number one country with the biggest cases in coronavirus, and I honestly didn't expect that. They surpassed Italy. I think U.S. right now, I don't know right now, but a few days ago it was like 80 something K, 82K, I think. I really wasn't expecting that. I thought Italy was leading it by far.
No, yeah, Italy's leading like in death rates, because they're not because they've gained a lot of conscience around it, but they don't have like the resources to take care of it. So because their healthcare system is like isn't like as good or as up to date as the US's or the UK's, or other European nations. So
Yeah.
they were taken by storm by coronavirus.
Yeah, and I think like I don't know how correct or but I think I've heard that they have a bigger demographic for older people. I don't know how true that
Yeah,
is. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean at least in Milan and stuff.
yeah. On the southern parts of Italy too, where it's like farmland and all that, and mountains.
Aside from that, we have I saw the also what I think back to what I was saying about the U.S. government. I was actually talking with someone about this. Why did Trump put Pence on like as the crisis manager? Why did Trump put Pence on the pandemic board? I found that completely unnecessary. Like I think there was claims on when he was governor that he wasted like I think $1 million to combat a specific virus. I don't remember which one it was, and it didn't even work out that well. Like I really don't trust Pence. I honestly don't like him. Yeah.
He basically, I mean, I'm pretty sure they just put him there like as a power move and like as a way to have someone directly reporting to him because that if you've seen like the conferences and all that, some a lot of times they're like the board and Trump are contradicting themselves. Like Trump says one thing and the board says another, and they're just going back and forth. So maybe he put Pence in there either to like calm them down, like say let Trump just do his thing, or he just did it to show like, hey, you guys better stop contradicting me because I'm still a fucking president. I can disband you whenever I want and say that you guys were being incompetent. So yeah, by him, he basically just, I think that he just wanted to show that, oh, I'm still the guy in charge here. You guys, sure, you're the board, but I'm still the president, and you
Oh,
guys are basically gonna do what I say.
yeah, it would make
Or,
sense.
or he actually just wanted to, to have Pence there because he wanted to have like a more direct route. It could
Oh,
be either way, or both.
I see. I mean, that's from a power move. I guess you can understand. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they disagree on a lot of things. Trump being quite the controversial figure sometimes, especially during this crisis. So,
Yeah.
uh, aside from this, I saw on Reddit this morning at like 5, a new Kendrick Lamar song got leaked, and it was
Yep.
immediately taken down. Sharo and Temple. I would play right now, but I don't want this to get copyrighted, and it's getting literally taken down everywhere. So I tried to get it access from it on the subreddit, but I had to like get it through a PM link because it was immediately gonna get taken down as well on the subreddit. But I gotta say, it's really good. If you find access from anyone, or do you know if anyone has access, try to listen to it because honestly, it's a hell of a good
Yeah.
song. I mean,
It's like, yeah, it really gets you pumped up for the
for
album.
the album, I don't think he's dropping on Good Friday as most
I,
people speculate.
I think, yeah, I think that's probably like to keep up with what he did with Damn, and probably also to like, help people who are still gonna be in quarantine, just to, like, well, I'm in quarantine, but at least I have a Kendrick Lamar album. You
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. I see it dropping around more like during the fall because I was talking to some people on Reddit and what they said makes sense. They're gonna let Zay drop in the spring and Solo in the summer, so they're probably just gonna let Kendrick drop on fall.
I mean, Kendrick can drop whenever Kendrick drops, he's gonna outsell anything and everything. I mean, if they want to make space, they can just tell him, okay, take some time, finish it. If you think you're done, just double check everything, make sure that it's the best album I've done that surpasses To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, everything, and let these other guys drop, and then we'll drop yours because you're gonna outsell him if you. He's from from the personality I can see, like from interviews and what he said in the media. He seems like a humble guy. Like he wouldn't just actually go out of his way to drop his album on the same weekend or week as another like smaller artist.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, Kendrick. As well, I rather wait and have Kendrick drop his best album yet, but I at the same time I really want it because I recently you were telling me to find the meaning behind To Pimp a Butterfly, and today after listening to it, I have to listen to it like once and maybe and a half. I listened to half the album again, and I found the meaning, and I gotta say it's pretty fucking poetic. You were telling me it was poetic, and you were trying to get me to listen to it. You didn't want to tell me what was the meaning, and I guess it makes sense. I mean, honestly, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean there was, but it also like, I mean what I also liked about it, it's like the storytelling and just how original, like it wasn't that much original, just like how innovative it was for him, because it's really like inspired by a Tribe Called Quest and some old Kanye stuff, but at the same time he's like adding to it. So yeah, that's really what people were expecting and what I was expecting from Damn. But instead in Damn we got like a new take with some more storytelling. It was a lot more abstract, and sometimes it didn't work that well with the features, like in Love with Sakari and Damn.
No, that definitely that.
Yeah, but you, what I liked about that album though was it was he again reinvented himself, and he came out again with a bunch of great songs, with one kind of a coherent theme. It was still kind of divided, but it was still great.
Yeah, definitely. People say, "Damn" is technically like okay. I consider Kendrick, after especially listening to Pimp a Butterfly, with like gingerly listening to it. I can say arguably he's one of the best rappers of all time. Or if no,
He's the best. He's the best. Yeah. I mean,
I would take that with a very big grain of salt because you have people like Kanye and stuff. I know Kanye dropped his game for some time, like ever since like dropped Jesus, he started dropping. But still, Kanye, of
no, ever
course,
since graduate. Well, I mean, graduation was the first.
you
Like,
can't fucking like consider Graduation like because Graduation was like one of his first albums. So
yeah, the third. So, I mean, it was the first drop.
yeah,
Because late registration, some people say it was like equal to College Dropout. I think it's better. But it's that can be argued. But objectively, like graduation was a drop. It had, just because of the fact that Barry Bonds exists, makes it like such a disappointment and such like a drop in quality from the other past two albums.
I mean, sure, I can see where you're coming, but uh. Once again, like I think like still Graduation regardless was a good album. Okay, maybe it was better than Late Registration. You showed me the facts behind it. You've tried to convince me that it is, and I will. Well, I guess I can mildly agree, sure. But I mean, at the same time, I still think Graduation is his best, honestly. But at the same,
I mean, but it basically it just basically he didn't even repeat what he was doing before. He made it worse, because instead of like making uh, like soulful beats or like clever lyrics, he changed it to like some more electronic stuff, and it could work. I mean, that the fact that it's electronic doesn't make it bad, but since he was kind of experimenting, trying to change it up, it didn't work that well. So I mean, that's why I think it's one of his, like, I'd say his worst album or one of his worst, just because he's like experimenting but not going the whole way, like he did in Yeezus, where he experimented the whole way, and I think it worked.
Jesus, I don't know. I feel like that's where he starts kind of like to go crazy. Jesus.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, after that, he dropped The Life of Pablo, which some people also consider his best, one of his best.
Pablo was pretty good, but Pablo was, I mean, people consider it his best, I'm pretty sure, because at that time was when, like, his clothing line was at its peak, I think. Yeah, it was around there where his clothing line was at its peak, and that was really, like, that made a big contribution towards his clothing line to, like, the entire Yeezus collection, and,
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like The Life of Pablo originally, like when it came out in title, it was pretty bad. I mean, compared to vinyl product that we got, like after he dropped the changes to Wolves and he added Saint Pablo to the album. After all of that, the album was far greater, and that's why people consider it one of the best, one of his best.
I mean, yeah, music wise it's good, but like I said, I mean, the people saying behind what's behind it. I mean, how do I reiterate this? Okay, basically, people say it's so good, like it's a good album per se, but like also it made such a big contribution to his clothing line at the time that I think that also made a huge contribution to it. Like,
Well, yeah, but his clothing line doesn't affect the quality of the album. It's still
no,
great.
not the
It's so
quality, but I mean, like, out of the songs, he got so much ideas. But yeah, I'm not talking about, like, quality album, but I mean, I still don't think it's his best. It's up there, definitely, but it's not his best, I would say.
yeah. I mean, I also don't understand like what's the hate with VA. I like it. It's good.
Uh,
It's pretty. I think people were really angry because it was short. But at the same time, that same year, Kanye also helped Pusha T with Daytona, which if you merge them, it's like a 40-minute experience to those two albums. So I kind of get I kind of get why they don't like it because it was his first 20-minute album, will be his last, as we saw with Jesus King. But also, I understand why he didn't make like a full album because in a year he made two great albums. I mean, Ye is great. I I don't know. I still don't get why people don't like it apart from the fact that it's short.
well, didn't he, that same year, didn't he make, Kids See Ghost?
Yeah, also, yeah, I forgot about. Yeah, he made, which is also, great.
That's his best project, for sure.
I'd say it's second best, but it's because it's so short too. I mean, it's so great. Or maybe it's not his best. Yeah, I know that, but it's amazing too.
It's short, but it's so good that it just, like, it basically sums up for it.
Yep.
Because like you combine like two legends, Cudi and Kanye, of course you're gonna get like something insane out of it.
Yeah, Cody, who influenced like so many people. Cody, who basically just influenced Travis Scott, who influenced everybody basically. I mean, Kid Cudi was one of the first to make, this kind of new sad trap song. Not even trap, just you know, rap songs, which Kanye also kind of started with in 808s and Heartbreaks. But the point is that both of them, they are legends in the game. So seeing them come together and make it work, because a lot of times it doesn't work that well. Like Watch the Throne with Kanye and Jay-Z, I liked it, but it has a lot of flaws. With Kids See Ghost, I don't see those flaws.
Yeah, I mean, if you would give it more space for a bigger amount of songs, like more songs, maybe it would find flaws. But I mean, that's what I think made it so perfect. It was so short that there wasn't space
Yeah,
for
but also
flaws.
like I'm pretty sure that if they made it longer and kept up like the same quality, it would basically be like a perfect album and would be Kanye's best. Because what we got there was, it was diverse, it was new, it was colorful, because you have songs like Fire, which are like heavily paced and heavily like focused on the beats. But there's also songs like Reborn, where you have Cody just singing his heart out.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, they could have made it a bit longer. Obviously, they're gonna make it work. They're Kanye and Cudi.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, what's the album you're looking most forward to this year? Aside from like we've got a lot of drops, Eternal Take and Eternal Take Deluxe were insane. Also, what else? Aside from that, I'm waiting for a Whole Lot of Red. I don't know when that will drop, but I hope soon. I definitely hope soon. Because he's promised it for like about how much? Like a year now? I mean, or around
I
there.
think so. Yeah, I think so.
And it hasn't dropped. I mean, I guess you could say Uzi dropped it 2 years later, but I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, a whole lot of red. It has like the background of Lit, which is just one of the best trap albums if not the best trap album. But Lil Uzi Vert, what he had, Love Is Rich too. you know, so people. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything. If he actually like came through and improved like greatly from Love Is Rage 2, I'd still say that he was, he'd be able to make a mediocre album because Love Is Rage 2 was so bad that yeah, that really Eternal Take I wasn't really expecting much, and I wasn't underwhelmed. I got exactly what I thought I was gonna get, a mediocre trap album from Lucifer, which is what he's always delivered basically.
I find trouble agreeing with that, honestly. I really don't think that's true. I mean, for me, Uzi is like, of course, I guess you could say like around the year where he dropped like his like peak album. I guess it was like a really good time, which was summer 2016, and that basically after that I caught love for Uzi. I mean, love it. Lil Uzi Vert versus the World slaps totally. Love is Rage, same
Sure,
thing.
I mean, but it's a good album. It's not great. I'd say it's a little above average, but I mean, it's not different at all from Playboy Cardi's like any of his work before that, any of his singles like Magnolia, or you know, it's even heavily it's heavily based on Kid Cudi's original work, but just with faster melodies and faster rhythms. So it brings nothing new. It's just a repeat of what was in the market. And if he was great at one thing, like great at just rapping or just singing, then sure he could have focused that, but he's not great at anything.
I mean, sure, but at the same time, that's his style, and I mean, that's just the style you see every day. I mean, I could guess you could say, I mean, I
Well,
agree with
exactly.
you.
I mean, that's the style you see every day. So there's nothing that different. He doesn't make the style new or make it better or make it the best it could be, like Playboy Cardi did on Dilit. He's just uses it like he's pretty much comparable with people like Lil Pump and Takashi. A little bit better, but still, they just use the style and repeat it with the same lyrics and same beats, and at least he got some fire features on the
Um,
deluxe version of Eternal Take. Because also on Eternal Take he had no features. I mean, what was he thinking? He's not J. Cole, who just drops albums without features. And even when J. Cole does it, it still turns out like pretty, boring to hear him speak for 40 minutes straight.
I mean, yeah, I definitely didn't agree at the beginning with Eternal Take being with no features, but then when I saw like he was saying, "Oh, I'm gonna get like Thugga and 21 Savage on Twitter for the deluxe," I was like, you know what, like I'd rather wait. I mean, this album still slaps. So
I
the
mean,
deluxe is gonna be still
I'd say
even better.
it's pretty bad. It's pretty. I get so bored listening to it. I mean, it's the same lyrics over and over again. I feel like I'm actually in a loop. You cannot. I mean, if it was at least repetitive in the way that Playboy Cardi's album is Dilit, that you realize that, oh well, he's being creative with it. He's playing around with it. He's making the song is 2 minutes short, 2.5 minutes long, so that he can change up the beats a lot, and that gives it a lot of diversity. But with Lucy Red, he just makes the song is pretty long. The beats are pretty good on Eternal Take, but his singing and his rapping and his lyrics just dropping everything else. He dropped the ball heavily on that. But I'd say it's kind of like the opposite on the deluxe version, because the beats over there are trash. His rapping keeps on being trash, and his singing too. But at least the features kind of make the album at least kind of, I can kind of listen to it and not be bored out of my mind.
Hmm. Once again, you can't compare that to Die Lit. I mean, Die Lit, I guess
I mean,
it's
yes, I mean, yeah, Dilit is a good version of what Lil Uzi Vert does. It's just Lil Uzi Vert actually doing something good.
sure. I like a self mix better, Cardi's. But I mean, Dilit is still really good. That's why I'm mostly waiting for Whole Lotta Red. Also, talking about that, I'm also waiting for J. Cole's album. I really want to see when he drops it. I
Was
it's
that wasn't that the drop off or no? He canceled that one because at the end of KOD he like teased it, but I'm pretty sure that he announced that he was gonna either cancel it or just change the name. I don't remember, but he
uh
teased that at the end of KOD. It was the fall off. I mean, yeah.
yeah, but I no actually I don't think I'm not sure because he didn't appear on the deluxe for Revenge of the Dreamers because he was working on it, so he didn't appear like in any of the features. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
but
sure.
also like I'm pretty sure he just wanted to let the his his label shine and the people the artists that are there just shine. So that's probably why he didn't also appear.
Sure, but I mean, there's still like he could still appear on one or two features. I mean, it's J. Cole. He's
Yeah,
probably the best out of people in Dreamville.
yeah. I mean, I'd say that Jid is better.
Jid's still good, but he's up there.
Yeah, it's called The Fall Off, his new album. That's the one that the last song on KOD teased.
Mm. The fall. Wait, and did he postpone it, or he just said he was gonna change the name? I'm not very
It just says that it's gonna drop this year.
exactly. I
He
see.
hasn't announced anything else.
I see that dropping around. I'm not sure because I mean he did drop. I'm not sure when he dropped KOD, but I know he did drop. He dropped For Your Eyes
KOD
Only
dropped in.
around December. KOD I think dropped around February or March, right?
Yep.
Then I mean that's when I see. I guess you can
In
see it
April, yeah,
around.
he dropped it in April 20th. I don't think he's gonna drop. I
No,
mean, he's had uh more than more than 2 years to work on this album, so he should he should have it ready probably. If it's anything like his last albums, just pretty uh, a little above average lyrics, some decent rapping sometimes, and some nice rhythmic beats, and maybe he should have it ready. But if he wants like to actually make something better, I think that he could wait because he waited 2 years between For Your Eyes Only and KOG, and also 2 years between 2014 Forest Hills Drive and 4 years only. So waiting 2 more years wouldn't be like out of the norm for him, or dropping it this year either wouldn't be like out of norm for him. But I still think that he should try and work on making the best album that he can.
oh yeah,
Because if he just continues to make like these albums which are good, but they're not the best that he could make, because he has a great ability to tell stories and to make like fast moving, like pumped up beats and raps, but he doesn't always use that. And sometimes it goes great, like it does in ATM and KOD, but sometimes it goes horribly, like it also does in Motivate and KOD, which they're both, the contrast between them is so huge, because you have track 5 on KOD, which is ATM, and then directly after there's Motivate, which it's supposed to, the name says it, it's supposed to motivate you, but I'm pretty sure that ATM does like a better job, and it's like better structured for all of that. So he needs to like get his priorities straight and find out that his strengths aren't always like where he thinks they are.
yeah, of course. I really haven't listened with carefully to like albums like KOD and 4 Years Only. I haven't heard in a long time, to be honest. But I for sure know he has a great. I think what he's best at is storytelling. Of course, rapping, but I guess storytelling is what makes him like shine. I mean, he did tell a pretty good story in KOD, from what I remember, and he also did tell a pretty good story in For Your Eyes Only. So
Yeah, 4 years only, like that was his best. I'd say that's his best album, because which
Nature's life.
uses
I mean,
yeah, he just uses like what he's best at, this style of rapping, and he combines it with some strings. Like in the first song, For Whom the Bell Stole, he just combines it amazing with some strings, and with the beat it just all flows perfectly, and it's a great intro. Then Immortal after that, drops off, but it's still great, and then from there on it just keeps on dropping off. But at least we got from that album, from Folding Closed, J. Cole's Almond Milk meme, which it's pretty dead by now. It was better in 2016, but it was still pretty funny when he rapped about almond milk and folding clothes. So
yeah, I guess. But once again, I understand where you're coming from. I definitely agree. Sure, he should try to look for his strengths and try to improve there. But once again, I really wanted to see him drop again. I mean, I've been pretty bored personally in quarantine, just listening to the same stuff over again. So, I mean, it would be nice to get something fresh. And I'm not gonna. Sure, we've gotten like a bunch of good albums in 2020. Aside from like a catastrophe this year, it's been a pretty good year for music. I mean, you've got Childish Gambino dropping. You've got, of course, Uzi. You've got.
yeah, but I mean, Childish Gambino, I gotta listen to it more. Last week we said that I kind of liked it, but now I hate it. I can't listen to it more than three. I can't listen to it straight. I just can't. It's really bad. I mean,
Why?
I don't know what he was thinking. He was like merging some soul with electronics with his weird ass voice. I mean, he has a good voice, but he just layers it under so many effects that you're thinking, what the fuck, is that a voice or is that an instrument? And it's not like in a good way where Kanye does it in Runaway. It's like in the way in which you're thinking, why am I hearing this computer? Because to a point it sounds literally like a computer. Why am I hearing this computer go over this computer generated beat or this computer generated melody? Because you do start to realize all of this is just basically loops and loops of the same beats and the same melodies.
I mean, that's
And,
the entire point behind it.
well, yeah, but it doesn't. Your album can have a great meaning, but if it sounds like shit, then I don't want to fucking listen to it.
Of course, yeah, but I mean, once again, like
And,
that's his entire point. He sounds like
sure,
a computer.
you
But
can kind of just be thinking about what his lyrics are saying, but it's kind of shallow. Also, I mean, it's nothing like once you like now that I've really dug deep into it, I realized that it's not really that anything groundbreaking or anything like or in like no an original really. It's just another way of saying what's already been said, that yeah, people and computers are different, we're not the same, we shouldn't be the same.
sure. I mean, we also have aside from this, we saw the weekends drop like we said last week. It's mediocre, but
Yeah, I think I kind of liked it a little bit more. It's above average, but it's still like like a 6. It's not anything great.
yeah, same rating you gave it last week. I mean, I still think it's a good album, but it's not like what people are saying. Oh, it doesn't have one single bad song. No, definitely not. It's pretty. To be the weekend is pretty shit, but I mean, once again, it's arguably okay.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I don't know if when is Travis Scott dropping? I mean, he just released his project with Jack Boys. I think I'm not sure if he just wants to like introduce just a group of Jack Boys or whatever. But I mean,
Probably.
I want him to drop soon. I'm pretty sure he's dropping this year.
I think he's gonna. I don't know. I think he'll probably focus on Jack Boys, on the label and the other artists, and then maybe continue with his solo albums, because I think when it was starting off, like before Rodeo, in the actual mixtape, Days Before Rodeo, he said that he wanted to, when he was getting publicity, that he wanted to like make a trilogy of albums, like 3, and just get it over with. And I'd say that it's pretty good if he ends it there and just focuses on like group projects. He's still really young. He's still like he's got his whole music career ahead of him. But if he ends it there, I'd say it was a good run, because he's still an icon. He'll still always be remembered. So
Yeah. I really don't want him to end it there. Honestly, I love his music and I love his work. He did try something innovative at the beginning, and I mean, he did bring a new style.
well, I mean, yeah, he just just progressed on what we've been saying, like what others like Kid Cudi and Young Thug were making.
Saying, I mean, I definitely agree. When it comes to sure, he did bring a new style in. I really don't want him to retire. I really didn't know. I mean, he was gonna drop a trilogy. Then he's still in group project. He still slaps in group projects. Still does really good, in my opinion.
I
So
mean, yeah, Jack Boys I liked it, but it was a starter album. It was pretty messy. It wasn't like the best that it could be. But it had Don Toliver who did a great job. Check West did okay, and Smoke Pop. I mean, yeah, he Pop Smoke. He in this song he banged. He was amazing. Rip. I actually wanted to see his career grow, and he was out of all of those the one that I wanted to most because Don Toliver I already knew about. Check West I already knew about. But
sure.
him, Pop Smoke, I didn't know much about. I didn't even hear at all about him before. So after listening to the album and listening to him, I actually wanted to listen more for him.
He did have a. I mean, yeah, you told me, and I guess it's true. He does have like this one voice that nobody can uh
Yeah, his raspy and
similar to. Yeah.
it's such a unique voice that like I'm pretty sure no one else can get in the game. Even they'd have to maybe Kendrick Lamar can kind of squeeze his way into making it with all of his voice inflections and everything. But it's still Pop Smoke has just that such a unique voice that it's sad that you'll never get to see it develop or see it make a great album or a great project.
Yeah. And aside from that, I mean, I really don't know who else I see dropping this year. Cardi,
Uh,
honestly, seeing this, not really.
I mean,
Travis,
I think Cardio. I'm pretty sure he's the type of guy who can make 20 songs in a day. He's probably just mixing them and adding some finishing touches, or maybe he's just hesitating
I
to
mean,
release them. But he can drop like his songs are so fast and so quick and 2 minute songs, and he raps just I'm pretty sure he can do it in 1 or 2 takes. He doesn't need to prepare much for it or to make many takes because his rapping style is so fast and it's you don't get what he's saying, but you do. You understand he's rapping so fast and he's skipping over syllables and everything. So it sounds like he's not saying anything, but you know that he's actually just not just making sounds. He's actually saying something, even if his lyrics are we're not expecting Kendrick Lamar lyrics from
yeah.
Playboy Cardi album.
But I really sure. But once again, I don't think he's mixing up. I think he has most stuff ready because I don't know if you've heard them, but his songs have been getting leaked everywhere. I mean, maybe that's why he's not
Yeah,
dropping yet.
but the songs if you notice, no one has them in the right order. Everyone just says the clips and they're assuming that what's the right order.
Yeah,
So they're probably trying to mix that and make it sound great with transitions and everything. And so
sure, I guess so.
also supposedly Denzel Curry was gonna drop an album this year. Apart from the small ones that
Yeah,
he dropped with Kenny
Kenny
Beats,
Beats. Yeah,
he was gonna drop a full album this year.
mm. I
Which
listen.
if he continues the trend, it's gonna be great because he's been making all of his albums have been great. I mean, well after I'd say after Imperial, Taboo, and everything after that has been great. Because his early mixtapes, he was still experimenting. But after that, when he found his style, he's been great, and I really want him to drop more stuff because what he's been dropping, like Sue, that was amazing. It was short, but it wasn't supposed to be an album. It was supposed to be like a teaser. Then Unlocked with Kenny Beats, it was so short, 17 minutes, but it's still so great. So yeah, I mean Taboo also is so great. It would be amazing if he dropped another album this year, like he's been hinting.
Mm, yeah, for sure. I really didn't listen to. Okay, so I started listening to him. Well, of course, I found out about him for Ultimate, like the song, that was really like trending. She was like
Yeah,
bottle flips. Then after that, I didn't hear for him about him till like another like 2 years. I guess you could say even like till late 2019. I was like, wait, this guy. And I started listening to him again, and he's pretty good. I mean, I would say Zoo is a bit better over over Taboo, but I mean Zoo is
I
just
mean,
a bit short. Yeah,
yeah,
sure,
I'd
but
say that Taboo's better only because it's longer. Because Sue is basically Taboo, but shorter. It's the great beats and the really like threatening and strong delivery from him just makes it so unique and great.
yeah.
So, yeah. Also, I don't know about Young Thug. I'm just assuming he's dropped. I've been looking at trends. And he's dropped. I didn't realize this. He's dropped an album every single year ever since 2016.
I mean, yeah, he did drop.
I mean, ever since 2015.
What was his last album before? It was so much
No,
fun.
I'm sorry. Wait, yeah, because his original album was "I Came From Nothing." Then "I Came From Nothing 2" in 2011, and then he dropped "Young Thug," "Main LaFleur" in 2014. Ever since then, he's dropped an album every year, and some years he drops two. So this year he'll probably drop. I mean, it's not gonna say that it's guaranteed, but he's not gonna drop.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think his best album was either the one that came before So Much Fun. I forgot the name at the moment.
Slime Language,
No, not Sign Language. The one before.
season 4, Slime
Uh,
season 4, or Super Slimy with Future.
Slime Season 3.
Oh,
Oh,
that was in 2016.
Slime Season 3 was arguably his best, and
No,
after
I'd
that,
say that
So
it's
Much
it's
Fun.
it's Jeffrey. No, Jeffrey's the best, and then after that, Slime season 3, and then So Much Fun. Yeah, but Jeffrey, I mean, all of the songs there just like clap, and they're 4 years old and they're still great, and they're still like I'm not gonna say that the content is original, but how he delivers it, he just like he makes up new rhymes and new ways to say the same thing, which sure he's still saying the same thing, but at least he's not doing like Lil Xavier who just shamelessly repeats it and repeats it and repeats it. At least he tries to mix it up.
Yeah, I mean,
And the features on that album were great. You have Gucci Mane, Gunna, Travis Scott, Quavo, Offset, and Wyclef Jean, and you know, and Quavo. It was such a great album, and that's why I say it's his best. It's pretty short. I mean, it's 42 minutes and 10 songs, but it's still great. And he has this song dedicated to Harambe in that album, so that elevates it.
huh,
Yeah,
really? Which one?
it's the seventh one. It's literally named Harambe.
Really?
Yeah, he's pretty. That one, it's like his rant song. It's not really that much about Harambe, but he does kind of mention it, because in that album, like he named each and every song after his idols. That's why the first one is Wyclef Jean. Then it's Floyd Mayweather, and then Switch Beats, Future Swag. Then he put Riri for Rihanna, then Guap, and then seventh one Harambe, then Webby, ninth Kanye West, and the 10th one
Pick up your
is
phone where, yeah, he dropped it,
yeah
yeah,
with yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah, I'm
it
looking
was
at
it was the only good song on Travis's album, Bridging the Trap.
yeah, I mean, I liked it a bit more. I mean, I'd say it's not his best album, but
It's his worst.
it's his worst, but it's still good. I mean,
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, like it gets boring.
if you
At least
compare
he
it to
spices it up.
Rodeo and Astroworld, it's kind of course,
his
it's the worst
worst.
one. Yeah, but I still like it. It's still pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. It can be enjoyable sometimes, but it's not enjoyable always. And you know, you can. And it's not like groundbreaking like Rudio was, you know. And it was not like he's not perfecting his style like he did in Masterworld. So, you know, he just basically stayed the same. And for him, there was a big disappointment. So, yeah, that's really why I don't like it. But of course, his worst album, like, it's gotta be Huncho Jack Huncho.
Oh no, yeah, that was terrible. But like once again, Huncho was just like I guess you could call it a mixtape.
Yeah, it was a mixtape, but I mean, it was still like Jesus Christ, it was so bad.
Yeah, you only have one good song.
And even that song wasn't like that good. It was just catchy.
I mean, it was okay. It was just mainly like some of this generic stuff, but it still slaps. Like that one song.
Yeah. But even though that's Travis Scott, sometimes he does it well. Sometimes he just fucks it up hugely.
Yeah. Well, I think
at least he recovered from that huge dip. Like for a time it looked like he was gonna just crash because you had Rodeo, the next year Birds, a drop off, not that big. It's still a drop off. Then after that, Hunter Jack Huncho, a huge drop off, and then you're thinking, well, isn't Astro supposed to drop next year? Well, what the fuck, is he gonna drop it up again, or is he gonna actually make it good? But at least he dropped and it was great.
Yeah. Well, aside from that, I mean, I definitely, I don't, he might drop. I mean, I've been hearing he's gonna drop Travis. I mean, picha, voy a cortar eso porque ya hablamos de eso. La acabamos aquí, ¿verdad? Ya, déjame ver cuánto llevamos. 55. Sí, ya.
Cerrarlo, dale, cerrarlo.
Dale. Well, I think that's gonna be it for episode 2. Honestly, like, we basically carried on with music, but I mean, it's
nothing. Nothing's happened. We're still in fucking quarantine. What the fuck are we gonna talk about? So
yeah,
you people know this. Everyone's still in quarantine. Maybe the only people who aren't in quarantine. There's still nothing happening around. We could talk about the news. Wants to hear about that? Just go watch CNN if you want to watch the news.
Yeah, you can even make like a scroll in Twitter moments for like 5 minutes, and you'll see like the basic things that are going on. We're not gonna go really in depth with like politics and shit. Aside from as interesting as it is, sometimes it's really like I don't know. It's not something I would be interested on like to talk about.
Yeah. The podcast. If you guys have any suggestions or anything, just add us at Twitter, at our Instagram too. Our Snapchat, we have our Snapchat. It'll all be in the description. So you give suggestions. You guys can help out with the project. Also, if you can spare the money, donate to our Patreon. There's a bunch of cool perks there. You can check them out. But yeah, that'll be all for today.
All right, everyone. Well, I want to thank my co-host Ricardo and Oscar as always. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a good one. Peace.